What's up? What's up? What's up? And if you guys could hear me, if you guys could see me too, when it comes to with this podcast, feel free to let me know because my camera's acting on its own today. I'm not sure if it's the rise of the machines, it's not the Terminator universe or anything like that. I don't want to scare you for anyone who's just watching this podcast for the first time, for the second time, and all that good stuff too. But again, Happy New Year to anyone who's watching this, and especially for those who are new to my channel. My name is James Harris. I welcome you guys to another Attune and Clear the Bullshit podcast, where if you just want to really to take care of your own subtle body and to really just to let go of anything that doesn't really serve you energetically when it comes to certain thoughts, or just like sensations within your body too, or just like with anything too when it comes to with that. So if you ever just like open to just really learning how you can really just to take care of your own subtle body, or just really doing that in a really powerful way to really just clear out anything that's just no longer serving you energetically too, of course, when it comes to certain thoughts, even within our own bodies too, because when it comes to with that, our body, or should I say our energy stores in a lot of places near certain parts of our bodies too, when it comes to with that. And it's really good to really just be aware of that too. So sorry if I'm waving my hands around like I'm about to do a fist of the North Star kind of, move to when it comes to with that, but I digress. So when it comes to with that, of course, I appreciate you for really just taking the time throughout your day to really just being here. I know you guys are busy just going through church, going to church, or if you're just having like a chill Sunday, if you're working, which is totally fine too. It's just I want to hold space for you guys to really just keep you informed, to share some stuff too that can help you to really just to learn something, create healthy connections to help you to take care of yourself energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually, and even spiritually too, in a really appropriate, consensual, ethical, and really just genuine and transparent way too when it comes to with that. So I just really want to just really share that with you guys too, and especially what you guys see on the screen too when it comes to this podcast. So when it comes to it that, but before I start talking and flapping my gums again too, so shout out to the people who are just watching this, and for those who popped up on my podcast the other day too when it comes to with that. So I just really want to address that, and especially for those who ask me questions. I know people who are in the chat, ask me like, "Oh, can I get another message or anything like that?" When it comes to like with the oracle card reading too, or anything like that. And with me, I know different people kind of feel a certain way about it. I'm totally open to it. It's just when it comes to with certain questions, and even just the ones I can't answer to when it comes to with that, it's just I'm definitely open to sharing some insight, but I'm not like a fortune teller. I don't have psychic powers. I mean, I probably am intuitive, but I'm not saying I'm Charles Xavier up in here too. I'm just a regular dude who loves wellness in every category, not just energetically and physically, but also financially, you know, spiritually, sexually, etc. Wellness in every kind of category, literally and metaphorically too. And especially in our relationships, in relationships with life, in our environment, and especially with ourselves and other people too, when it comes to with that. And when it comes to with just attuning your own energetic body and to really just clearing some bullshit out that really doesn't serve you anymore too when it comes to with that. If you're open to just really letting go, learning new perspective when it comes to with that. And this podcast for you guys too. So I just really want to share that too. And especially for 2026 and even just with any kind of goals that you want to work on too when it comes to with anything. It could be just by just going through certain things when it comes to with like a breakup, or if you're just whatever that you're going through in life. And I know I've probably said this before many times in this podcast, but it's just when it comes to just taking care of your own subtle body and even in your own wellness routine, in your own spiritual journey, it's really good to do that too. And especially for those who love to practice certain wellness practices, with like Reiki and other energy healing practices. And sometimes it doesn't have to be just by just doing symbols and just, putting your hands on your chest, even though that's a really cool practice to do. Sometimes it's always, there's lot other ways too that we can really just to, attune and clear out the bullshit. When it comes to just taking care of our own subtle body, it's just really listening to those sensations and really just sitting there with ourselves too, not in like in the form of a meditation, but also just really recognizing certain things too energetically, especially throughout your body too, when it comes to with that. And just really listening to your own body, whether you're a man or a woman, at any time as well, when it comes to with this podcast, just really doing your best to just listening to that. And especially when it comes to just whatever that you're going through, it could be just emotionally, financially, mentally, physically, sexually, and even spiritually too. Just really, taking the time throughout your busy day, and especially in general too, to really just recognize how your energy feels too. And energy, or should I say, you know, or should I say the subtle body, our subtle bodies really is a body itself. We all have it, not just like our physical bodies with our skeletons and our muscle tissues, our nervous system, reproductive organs, that sort of thing too, but also with our subtle body too. That's just, you can't see it, but we can feel it too. When it comes to with that, it's just as important as our, you know, outer body too and our inner body. If I could just really rephrase that. I know I'm probably just speaking all over the place and talking woo woo, whatever you want to call it, which is totally fine. So it's just like, hey, you probably heard this many, many times from other different people on social media, or even just with that too, when it comes to with this podcast. And it's just taking care of your subtle body, and especially for the new year or any other year that comes up for you too in life, 2026, 2027, 28, etc. It's really good to really just taking care of our subtle body, because the things that we do, interacting with other people, or even just in our environment, really has an energetic effect. Not just, how can I say this? It's just, it really has an energetic effect where you really just feel certain things too, especially when we're just taking care of ourselves financially, emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, sexually, and even spiritually too, when it comes to with that. And just really doing that energetic maintenance for your subtle body, just really clearing out the BS that doesn't really serve you anymore too, can really just be helpful. And even just like if you're practicing certain energy healing activities, like with Reiki too, for example, with the five Reiki principles. And just like as you guys can see on the screen, it's just when it comes to the five Reiki principles, they can really just be helpful for anyone to really just to really take care of your own subtle body too in a really powerful way, and really putting your own spin to it as well. Because I know there's probably like other practitioners, and I'm sound like I'm really comparing, but I'm really just being genuine and transparent here. It's just like they, talk about it in a different ways too. But with me, and for those who are watching this, I just really want to be genuine and realistic and transparent with you guys too when it comes to with the five Reiki principles, and just really applying these in your everyday life that really just feels right to you, with your nervous system, with your physical body, with your emotions, etc. And especially sometimes too, with like with the first one, all about anger. Don't get angry. I mean, sometimes that'll be impossible. Sometimes we go through certain things, things piss us off. Even like in the video game, for example, if you're being chased by like a flying bike that shoots homing missiles, or if you're just getting nuked out of nowhere too from a really just trying to someone who's really just problematic. It's like bruh, like really? Sometimes you feel like this. Bruh. So I know for anyone who just really just feels a certain way about that, like how many times if you play like GTA Online or Tekken, someone does something really, really, really fucking stupid, and to where like your energy just feels out of whack. It's like, bruh. If you guys ever felt that way too, you're welcome to comment, share your feelings and opinions and thoughts about that too. because even with me too, as a gamer and as a content creator, entertainer, however you want to call me too, which is totally cool. I mean, I know myself now and more than ever, and I'm totally solid with who I am as a person. It's just like, damn. It's just like sometimes it's just like if you hear people screaming in your ear in the headphones, or if you just watch certain people how they interact, it makes your energy, even your subtle body feel like this.
Bruh.
you know? So or sometimes you just want to say this too when it comes to with that,
And shove it up your ass. All up in your ass.
but when it comes to anger, sometimes it's understandable when it comes to if you feel a certain way that's unjust, if like someone does something really weird or just strange towards you too, in the online space or in person. But when it comes to with the anger and really just recognizing that within your own self too, with your nervous system, with your own energy especially, just really taking the time for yourself to really just recognizing that, within, going deep within, which is, somatic means going deep inwards. And just really just saying to yourself, like, oh, wait a minute, this feels energetically kind of weird. Like, how come I'm like responding that way, even though like, deep down to your core, maybe you're just not that kind of like an angry person, but certain things really just, you know, set you off too. And, I get that. And just really doing your best to not get so angry and worked up because it can really just affect your energy too. It can really just throw you out of whack. It can make you just, be a person that you normally would. Or, yeah, make you, like anger can really just make you like a certain person that you normally aren't, but when it comes to its anger, sometimes it's justifiable. Like when it comes to someone doing something wrong towards you, or something that's just doesn't feel right too when it comes to with that, which is totally understandable. But with that anger, if it just sits there energetically, it's really good and really just being knowledgeable about that to really just recognizing that within us, with our own bodies, with our energetic body, to where it's just like if it doesn't serve you when it comes to what that it's bringing more harm than good, really just got to clear that anger out too. Just really don't get angry, doing your best to not get angry and really just disciplining yourself to really just doing that. And especially when it comes to worrying too. And sometimes I know with life too, and sometimes, it's normal that we worry. Sometimes, even with me, like I worried about my finances all the time. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, when I'm going to get like a session or someone wants to buy a product from me, or if they just want my help too when it comes to with my coaching. It's like, damn, it can really just make you worry a lot, and which is is understandable because survival is essential. It's part of life. If you don't need like when it comes to a survival, it's essential because we just got to take care of ourselves financially, emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, sexually, and even spiritually too when it comes to with that. And when it comes to just worrying so much, sometimes it can really just makes us be in fight or flight all the time energetically. And even with the stuff that I used to worry about in the past, it's like, oh my gosh, like even just worrying about like what other people like say about you and perceive you when it comes to with that. And even just like with not just like with other people, but in your environment, and to where you're just like worried about like the city lights and noises that really just overwhelm your energy, or even with yourself too, just like if you ever grew up where you just feel kind of like ostracized or outcasted too, if that's in a word, and just to where you just really feel like you're worried about what people say about you, which I totally understand. And it's just like when you take the time for yourself to not worry so much, what people think of you and everything else, it can really help the nervous system to relax and your energy to really just be in balance too when it comes to with that. I know that's kind of like easier said than done because I know people are sensitive. We live different lives. We're from different cultures, which is, I respect that too. And when it comes to with that, for anyone who's just listening and watching this podcast, is to really just not worry so much too. It's normal to worry about like, our finances, our emotions, it comes to with ourselves and the people that we care about and, people around us in our environment and our environment especially. But if it's to the point where it just really puts you in fight or flight and it really just messes you up in a certain way, then it's really good to really just recognizing that from within and to really just practice not worrying so much too. And when it comes to with gratitude and this is a big one too when it comes to with gratitude and sometimes with gratitude and I know like going back to finances and wealth and abundance, just really being grateful for what you have. Not just like with like material things but also with people in your life too. When it comes to with that, practicing gratitude and being grateful can really just be helpful. It can really just make you feel humbled as a person energetically too. Excuse me for a second. And when it comes to with that, and especially when it comes to with practicing gratitude, it can really help us to really just be a grounded person, being grateful for what we have, the people in our lives, not just family, but also friends, acquaintances that really just appreciate us and respect us as human beings. Even our romantic partners too, when it comes to with that. And, even family too, not just like with our parents and grandparents and cousins and nieces and nephews, but also our own kids too, when it comes to with that. And especially to where like the material things too, like our homes and our environment, our communities, the things that we own too could be just by, Oracle decks, game consoles, cars, you name it too. I know material things, in the spiritual essence, people say not to focus on the material, but we're on a earthly plane too. And there's nothing wrong with just like, showing appreciation to certain things, that's material. And sometimes too, just really doing that in a really healthy way, appreciating a good drink too, sometimes when it comes to with that, or good food, powerful tools that can help you to support your energy, essential oils, what that may be, or even just with that too. It's just really not being consumed by that too when it comes to with that. And just really practicing gratitude and really just being grateful for what you have too can help us to really just, have like a humbled perspective. And it can really just help our own energy, just really being grounded and balanced too when it comes to with that. And when it comes to with working diligently and even just by just when I created this presentation for anyone who's just watching this too, and just like working diligently, and just like working hard and working diligently, there's nothing wrong with that. And especially if you're talented when it comes to with your gifts, your God-given, naturally talented gifts with you as a person, whether you're a man, if you're a woman, and just really working diligently to what you're good at, or if you want to just improve in something too, or just like with anything too, when it comes to it, that working diligently is kind of like a way for us to really just working smarter and not harder. There's nothing, but I'm not like to put that down. There's nothing wrong with working hard, when it comes to a certain goals and desires you want to pursue, especially when it comes to with your career and finances. But also at the same time, you don't want to just feel burnt out, energetically, because I know there's a lot of people out there who work really, really, really hard, but they're burnt out. They don't have time to really just rest, to restore their energy, to just really do the things that they love to do. And just really just fighting that kind of like balance when it comes to just with working diligently, working smarter, not harder, or should I say working efficiently too. So just really doing your best to working diligently, improving your craft, your skills, learning new things, keeping the mind fresh too when it comes to with that, with new perspectives and even with other people too. Even with me as a person, who's a totally nerdy hippie too. Like I meet people who have really different perspectives. You can really just agree and disagree too. But at the same time, it's just like that's cool, and even just working with other people too, when it comes to with that, it can really just be, you know, helpful to really just finding that balance where we can really just get along and working diligently too, working effectively as a team even as a person too, when it comes to with that. And so when it comes to with working diligently, and especially for those who are just watching this podcast, it's just like a way for us to really just um, working efficiently to where you're not burnt out, basically, and just really doing that in a really powerful way for your energy body to really just to take care of your energetic body, because your energetic body is just as important as your physical body, literally and metaphorically too, when it comes to with that. And so with the last principle, I'm sharing too with you guys, when it comes to with this podcast, is really just being kind to everything. And when it comes to with this principle as well, for anyone who's just watching this podcast, sometimes being kind to everything is a really good thing to practice. Being kind to yourself first and foremost, people that you care about. It could be with your family, it could be with your friends, acquaintances, and even with your romantic partners too. But sometimes when it comes to with human nature as well, most people aren't so kind too, because we treat people a certain way. And when it comes to with other stuff too, sometimes people are vengeful, they're spiteful, they're deceptive, and even the other things too. I'm not trying to put the vibe down when it comes to with that. I'm just really being realistic here too when it comes to with this podcast. But when we can really just take the time throughout our busy day, and especially in general too, in our own spiritual journey and in our own wellness routine, to really just being kind to everything. And just really how you can really just do that is really just setting healthy boundaries with yourself too. And especially as a person too, who's, whether you're a man, if you're a woman, just really being kind to everything too, and really just practicing healthy boundaries with yourself to where you know what you like and what you don't like too when it comes to with that. So when it comes to with just being kind to everything, especially with yourself first and foremost, you gotta always gotta love yourself, not to where you're not like being narcissistic, but also having that kind of like genuine appreciation to who you are as a person, with your flaws and with your gifts, your talents, your intelligence, your physical body, everything too. And just knowing that you're not perfect, but you're good with who you are as a person, just really practicing that energetically to really just being kind to yourself in a really genuine and transparent way. And especially towards other people too, when it comes to with that, with people that you interact with, whether it's online or in person, or just like, in your environment, in your communities too, wherever you are in the world as well. Just really taking the time for yourself to really just being kind to everything, and especially towards other beings too, like with the animals and with your environment, with the trees and the water too. It can really just take you far in life too, and especially in your relationships with life as well, when it comes to with that. So just really doing your best to really just being kind to everything in a really genuine and transparent way too, when it comes to with that. And so when it comes to with this graph, for anyone who's just watching this, with the five Reiki principles, if you have any kind of questions about that, especially to what I've shared too, you're more than welcome to comment and even just reach out to me as well when it comes to with that. I'm just a DM on social media, email away too, and an email away too, from just really reaching out to me, or even just send me your questions, dude. What's it called? Like Google, I don't know, Google something. It's in my links too when it comes to it, that if you guys want to just reach out to me too through email. So, but anyways, when it comes to with this graph, for anyone who's just watching this podcast, just really practicing the five Reiki principles in your own way, even just doing your own research as well. So, when it comes to with that, for anyone who's just watching this podcast, feel free to share your own feelings, opinions, and thoughts about this podcast. I mean, about this, what I'm sharing too in the graph. And especially when it comes to just taking care of your body energetically too, when it comes to with that, and just really listening to what your body is saying too. I know sometimes that sounds like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I get it, but sometimes too, if you really just open your perspective, especially if you want to just like how you can really just take care of yourself energetically. It's just really listening to your body's subtle body too when it comes to with that, and how you can really just take care of your own energy, especially in certain places too within your body. It could be near your shoulders, your hands, your breasts, your heart, your waist, your feet, anywhere too when it comes to with that, because any energy is all around us and within us too. And it's really good to recognize in that too, and especially when it comes to just, clearing out the stuff from your energetic body that doesn't really serve you anymore. And just really doing that in a really powerful way to really just support your own energetic body, because we're all different beings, different people, different genders, etc. And just really doing your best to really just to support your own energetic body, and especially in the wellness space too. I know sometimes people would tell people to do things a certain way, but at the end of the day too, it's really all your decision, because your own body is your own body energetically too, especially in how you want to just take care of that, to take care of your overall health, your well-being, your physical body, your emotional body, etc. Even in your own spiritual journey too, just really practicing that in a really powerful way to really just listen to that, doing your own research, connecting with professionals that can help you to do that. Not just with myself, because I'm only just limited to my range of scope. And I think I said this before, I'm just staying in my lane of expertise. So you're just really saying that as like a life coach, a wellness coach, intimacy coach too. It's just like, I can only share what I know. I'm not going to go out of my range of scope when it comes to with that. So that's why, like, I always encourage people to really just to do your own research, connecting with professionals when it comes to the information that I share with you guys too. And just really doing that in your own way too, when it comes to for your own energetic body. And just like how you want to take care of that to where you can really just to really clear out anything that doesn't really serve you, from within too. Just really practicing that in a really powerful way. And even just with that too, for anyone who's just listening and watching this podcast, and just for you guys to really just sit there and to really just like, I know that's kind of like a meditation too. Now and explaining it, but you can really just do this standing up or just doing some movement, just really recognizing what's going on within your own subtle body too, noticing any kind of sensations when you're going deep within yourself too, practicing, in that, practicing not in that, but with that in a really creative way, to really just recognizing what's going on with you energetically, especially if you notice like with your physical body that your, stance is kind of like cricket, or if you're, have some certain sensations within your body energetically that really affects your posture, or if you're just thinking about certain things too when it comes to with your mind, with that cognitive behavior and thoughts and all that. And just really practicing that in so many ways too when it comes to with just listening to your energetic body and really just putting your own spin to it as well. Because we're so different people. We come from different cultures, we live different lifestyles. And just really for anyone who's in the wellness lifestyle, or a practitioner or coach, or influencer. I know, I hate saying influencer, even though I'll just say it too. It's just really doing your best to really just listening to your own energetic body and really just practicing that in a really powerful way, to really just recognizing what's going on within you. Even if you have to just like do some activities like with EFT tapping, which is what it means is just like emotional field tapping, or just really putting your hands together and just really bring your hands apart, just to practicing that form of energy healing too when it comes to with that. I know sometimes too probably wondering like what the hell is he trying to do, but if you really just practicing like with reiki or any other energetic, like other forms of energy healing too, it's really powerful. And especially when you take the time to for yourself throughout the day, and especially when you have some time for yourself to gather your thoughts, take catch your breath, or anything like that too, to really just practicing any form of energy healing, whether it be Reiki or otherwise, for yourself, to really just taking care of your subtle body and really just doing that in a really powerful way too. So when it comes to with that too, for anyone who's just watching this podcast, if anything that I've shared too really just resonated with you too, or if you ever just want like a message for today as well, just feel free to post it in the chat, or if you just want to say hi too, that's totally fine. And yeah, happy Sunday to you guys too. And I hope you guys are having a really good day too when it comes to with that. So yes, I'm gonna wait a few minutes, but if I don't see any other questions, I'll just pull some cards for the collective because I don't want to keep you guys waiting if you guys need to do other stuff when it comes to with that. And you guys are busy on Sunday, you want to go to church, connect with God, connect with nature, or do other stuff too that's important for financial or spiritual reasons too, which I totally get that because life is precious and our time is precious too, especially. So I just really want to address that for those who are just watching this podcast. And but for those who love to support and everything else, much love to you guys. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's make this year like a more powerful and impactful one too for our own well-being, spiritually, energetically, so on and so forth. So yes, indeed. So if you don't see any other questions, I'll just pull some for the collective. So, okay, so I'm gonna pull some cards for the collective, just for you guys to really just, take some insights, how you can really just take care of your subtle body for 2026, clearing out the BS or anything like that can really just help you to really just take care of your energetic body in a really powerful way. So let me post some messages for you too. For anyone who's just watching, so mm, mm, okay. Another message for the collective. Let's see. So messages for the collective for 2026. Hmm. Okay, and the last message for the collective. These are some powerful ones too. So let's see. Hmm. So I have I almost said six. Oh my gosh. I almost screwed up on there too. It's like, bro. It's like I almost said six, but I was gonna say I have three messages for the collective too that I'm going to share too. And if any of these messages resonate with you when it comes to what I'm about to share, you're more than welcome to share your feelings and opinions and thoughts about these messages at any time, especially if you're watching this podcast for the first time or for the second time too, when it comes to with the in that kind of order as well. So with the first message too that I have for you guys for the collective is really all about love. And as you guys can see too with the beautiful rose and the heart, that really connects with that loving energy. And just like for anyone who wants to just take care of their subtle body for 2026 and even beyond too, and in general, to really just, practicing that powerful form of love too. And if you're just wondering, like, how the hell can I practice that? And just like for you to really just integrate in that love, for yourself and for other people and your environment in a really powerful way too. And so, like for example, like just how you can really just love yourself is like by setting healthy boundaries or setting healthy boundaries with yourself and other people in your environment. Not to say like you have to say no all the time. It's just like a way for us to really just know what we like and what we don't like and what we will tolerate and what we won't tolerate when it comes to with that. That's like a really powerful way to really just, to to create that kind of like healthy form of love too for yourself and other people and with your environment too. And especially if like when it comes to in that kind of order as well, just really practicing that, powerful form of love when it comes to just setting healthy boundaries with yourself too, to where you can really just recognize what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate energetically. When it comes to with your relationships with life, with yourself and other people, and in your environment, especially too, when it comes to with that. And with the next message too, which is really all about softness. And so just really being gentle with yourself can really just help you in your own healing journey, especially if you're going through certain things, if you're going through like a breakup, a loss, or anything like that too. That's anything that's really challenging, bringing that softness, especially towards you as a person, whether you're a man or a woman, that can help you to really just practicing that powerful form of love when you're just setting boundaries with yourself too. And softness is a really powerful thing to do, especially if we're so hard on ourselves and if we're let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. If we are our own worst critic when it comes to with that, and if we just wondering how we can really just bring that kind of like clarity towards us too, energetically, emotionally, etc. Just really bringing that softness towards you, and especially in your own lifestyle, in your own spiritual journey, and even wellness lifestyle. I think I said lifestyle before, can really help us in so many ways. So just really being gentle with yourself, emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, sexually, and even spiritually too, and even financially as well when it comes to with that, just really practicing that discipline when it comes to with finances as well, just really being gentle with that to where you don't really just have to really just abuse that all the time too. Because, me personally, I'm practicing that as well when it comes to just, not still being so hard on on myself financially, emotionally, energetically, etc. And for you guys too, to really just doing that in your own way too, when it comes to with this message. And with the last message too, which is really all about storms. And this really has like a combination of like the fire element and the rain element too, because the storms is really powerful too, and especially with the air element as well. So when it comes to storms and really just cleaning up the stuff, literally and metaphorically too, when it comes to with this message and just like how you can really just sit really cleansing out anything that doesn't really serve your highest good energetically and just really practicing that in a really powerful way in your own life to really just going through that cleanse, whether it be like, if you're playing too much video games, just really switch that around. Or if you're not having so much fun in your life, if you're just working all the time, maybe you can really just switch that around too, to where you can really just find out, work and play balance too. Or what's the phrase too? Work fun balance too when it comes to with that. Feel free to, share that too for anyone who's just listening and watching his podcast, just work life balance too. And so it's not to take away your responsibilities as a person, what you need to do, but also to really just like clearing and really just clearing out anything that doesn't really serve your highest good energetically. So when it comes, whether it shows up in your mind or in your physical body, in your heart, or anywhere too, just really cleansing that, clearing that out, and not cleaning that out, but also clearing that out too, or just saying both too. Why not? Just cleaning and clearing that out too, literally and metaphorically. When it comes to with this message, just really, cleaning out anything that doesn't really serve your highest good to where you can really just be in a better place, financially, emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, and even sexually and spiritually too, when it comes to with that, to where you can really just be the best version of yourself too. Because, we all go through, certain things. We make mistakes, a lot of mistakes too, even like myself, I made a lot of mistakes financially and all that in that kind of, just in that order too. But when it comes to with that, how you can really just clean out anything that doesn't really serve your highest good to where you can really just be a better person. That can really just be helpful too. So just really practicing that in your own way and not being so hard on ourselves too when it comes to with that. So when it comes to with this message for anyone who's just watching this podcast, and I'm going to share these messages before I go. So when it comes to with the first message, which is really all about love, just really practicing that healthy form of love when you're creating boundaries with yourself and other people and in your environment too, to where you can really just know what you like and what you don't like too when it comes to with that. So just really creating healthy boundaries, and especially when it comes to with that, can really just be a powerful way to really just, expressing that healthy form of love too when it comes to with that. And especially within yourself as a person. Because, when we are just creating healthy boundaries within ourselves, it's where we can really just recognize what we like and what we don't like, you know, just really practicing that in a really powerful way to really just bringing that healthy form of love, that unconditional love too, when it comes to with that. And what's up, Ron? Happy New Year, man. Good to see you. And when it comes to with softness, just really being gentle with ourselves and just really doing that in a really powerful way to really just being gentle with ourselves to where we can really just not be like our own worst critic when it comes to with that. And especially for those who are just, having trouble just really, just really bringing that softness to, and if you're your own worst critic sometimes, just really bringing that softness to where you can really just bring that clarity towards you, and especially in your relationships with life as well. And just when it comes to with the last message too, which is really all about clearing and just really, clearing the stuff out and cleansing and just really, doing some like energetic maintenance too when it comes to with this message, or should I say energetic or spiritual, maintenance. Just really doing your best to really just, clear out anything that doesn't really serve your highest good, emotionally, energetically, mentally, physically, and even spiritually too when it comes to with that, to where you can really just learn from your mistakes and really just being, a better person too when it comes to with that, whether you're a man or a woman as well. So when it comes to with these three powerful messages for anyone who's just watching this podcast, you're more than welcome to share your feelings and opinions and thoughts about these messages at any time as well when it comes to in that kind of order as well. So with that being said, before I go, big shout out to my big brother Juan. What's up, man? Good to see you. What's good? What's good? I am about to wrap it up and just really finishing my lunch and everything like that. But I was just really sharing some powerful information when it comes to for people to really just to support their own, subtle body, their energy too, when it comes to with that. So I just really wanted to share that, and I just didn't want to just like ignore people who are saying hi too. So I just really want to address that, and for those who are watching this podcast too. You're sitting on your Pepe Le Pew chair? Hey, that's what's up, man. And you enjoy that, man. So yeah, man, your chair is awesome. I have to get that Sunday for myself too. I'm really gonna work on those goals too when it comes to with that. So with that being said, when it comes to with this podcast, I am going to wrap it up. But thank you, Ron, for being here and just really showing love and support. Big shout out to the people who are watching this live and watching the replay. I'll be back live on Monday too. If you guys are open to really just talking about mindfulness and how you can really just bring that compassion towards your nervous system too when it comes to with that. So yeah, man, take care. Enjoy your Pepe Le Pew chair, man. That sounds really cool. So yeah, big shout out to you, man. Much love, bro. And if you ever want to talk, just reach out to me, man. And same goes to anyone who's just watching this podcast too, when it comes to with that. So thank you guys for watching. You guys take care. Happy New Year. Take care of your subtle body. When it comes to with that, just really creating healthy boundaries and taking care of yourself energetically, emotionally, financially, mentally, physically, sexually, spiritually, in that kind of order too, when it comes to with that, in a really appropriate, consensual, genuine, and transparent way too, when it comes to with that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow when it comes to with, if you want to talk about mindfulness and how you can really just bring compassion towards your nervous system in that kind of order as well. And I'll see you guys around. So much love and many blessings. Let me see.